Hello, thanks for watching again. This video is all about empowerment because my work's all about how to deliver increased sales, repeat sales, cross sales and up sales through consistent, first of all, delivery of customer experiences and then consistent improvement of that delivery. Now, of course, you can't do that without your people being aligned and empowered around that. So empowerment is critically important to getting this right. Now, my system will tell you exactly how to empower your people, what to do, how to train them, when to train them, and this isn't expensive and it isn't time consuming. We're talking about 15 to 20 minutes a week. So watch a little bit more, watch my stuff, and you'll learn how to do this. Now, all of my material is new and different. It's been put together for the 21st century. The 21st century is the age of the customer. Your customer is completely empowered. They can really make or break you overnight. And the one thing you have to get right above everything else is their experience. Not your service. Your service is irrelevant. It's their experience that matters. Remember, their experience is like the part of the iceberg that's under the water. You can't see it unless you look for it. Okay, so please note this material is all copyright, it is all licensable to you, but please do contact us for details of that. It's not expensive, but please don't use it without license, without a copyright, because we do pursue people for that for obvious reasons. It's taken us 5 years to put this together, and it is, of course, hugely important for us to protect our copyright in it. So, the most important thing with all this is there's no quick fix. As I said before, if you have a sportsman wanting to be an excellent sportsman, they can't just do a bit of training for a day or a week and say, well, I've done my training now, don't need to do that again, I now know how to play the game. They've got to keep training, they've got to keep developing, they've got to keep moving forward. There is no quick fix. Please do not think there is ever a quick fix to this. It's a systematic approach of continual ongoing improvement. So what we're going to talk about is empowerment. How you can get your people empowered and motivated to give systematic, excellent customer experiences. And very briefly, I want to tell you about people at work. Basically, people have 4 dimensions: mind, body, heart and spirit. Now, we tend to be quite good at one of these dimensions, their mind. We tend to employ people for their mind or their body. But we tend very rarely to employ them for all 4, and even both of those together. So if we're employing someone to do a job with their body, very often in the Western world we say to them, look, just do what you're told and shut up, don't ask awkward questions, okay? Don't use your mind in the word. And if we employ people to use their mind, very often they get very upset if you then ask them to use their body as well, move some furniture around or change something, and it's really rather sort of counterproductive and destructive. But there are 4 facets to the human condition. Mind. People need to feel that they are doing something that stretches them, that tests them. Body. They've got to feel they're being well looked after. They've got to feel comfortable in their environment. They've got to have a good physical experience. Heart. They must feel that they're doing something that they feel passionate about. And if they're don't feel passionate about your business, you've either got to find why they don't feel passionate about it and change that, or you've got to change the people. People who are not passionate about your business and what they do in it will never excel. And today's market is far too difficult to have people who don't excel. Worldwide competition is springing up all over the place. We in the West have far too high wages to compete with that. We must have people who are passionately committed. It is our only thing we can do to make sure we can compete on a world stage. And we have to compete on a world stage. Don't say, well, I don't compete on the world stage, because we all do, okay? And the last thing is spirit. Spirit is becoming more and more important to people. What's it all about? Why are we doing this? There must be more to life than making money. Yes, of course, money's important. You have to make money. But look at the terrible tragedies and crash and pain inflicted by the banks and the investment banks by just focusing on money. Short-term focus on money gets us nowhere. In fact, worse than that, it takes us backwards. People have got to feel they're doing something that's worthwhile. People's most critical need is to do things that's worthwhile work. Now you think, well, I just do cleaning, for example. How can we say that's worthwhile? Well, of course cleaning's worthwhile. Cleaning makes people's environments better, it makes everything more pleasant. It's an extremely valuable thing. So whatever you do, look for what makes it valuable. And don't let your people leave any of their mind, body, heart and spirit at home. If you have anyone who's working only with their mind or only with their body, then you've got a problem. You have to totally engage people in today. Now, we promised to talk about empowerment. Now, here's how empowerment works. Empowerment's really simple, in fact. Empowerment is just like tennis. With a tennis player, you want them to play as well as possible, and so it is with your people. You want them to be out there on the court playing as well as possible. So how does a tennis coach ensure that his people plays as well as possible? Well, very simply, he does one or two things. First of all, he ensures that his person has the right equipment. You can't play good tennis with a rubbish tennis racket. Secondly, he ensures that the tennis player has regular training to keep them in shape, both in technique and in fitness, and that they train themselves and look to improve themselves consistently as well, because without that they can't improve. So you've got to make sure your people are trained and motivated. Thirdly, the coach makes sure, of course, that the court is right. The lines are clear, the player knows the rules, and the net is at the right height. Your people have got to know where the boundaries are, what the rules are, and what height the net is. And most people don't know this. They've got to know this stuff in order to be allowed to get on with it. And without any of this stuff, your people can't get on with it, because at the end of the day, in fact, you can't empower anyone. They have to empower themselves. But they can only empower themselves if you produce the right circumstances for them to empower themselves. You engage them in body, heart, mind and spirit, and you allow them to get on with it. So the last thing the coach must do is to get off the court and let the player play. And how many managers do this? How many managers actually let their people get on with it? And the answer is very few, because they haven't got the other things right first. If you haven't got the lines clear on the court, or the player hasn't got the right equipment or the right training, they have to be supervised, they have to be told which shot to take all the time. And the net result is a lot of frustration, a lot of waste, huge amounts of waste, and very, very poor player performance. And that's what so often happens. You've got to empower your people, you've got to have people who want to be empowered, you've got to make sure they've got the right equipment, right training, right fitness, clear boundaries, right height of the net, and then let them get on with it, and crucially, support them, encourage them, and hold them accountable. Between the games, you review the game. What went well? What could have gone better? How can we work together to improve that next time? That's very, very important. Now, can you see how that would work to work in the business environment? It's simple stuff, but so few people do it well. Because the power of the customer experience is what's going to determine your future success or not. You've got to get it right through your people. So you've got to ask yourself, what am I going to do from this? What one thing could I do after seeing this video that will make a difference? And my suggestion is you start talking to your people about this and say, what one thing can we do together to move this forward? Use the tennis simile. It's very clear, it helps people understand. How can we help you do this? Well, we've got loads of resources. We have, obviously, Great or Poor, my book, available on Amazon, and there's links to that all over the place, so please do buy that. It's £10.49 on Amazon. Very, very good value, of course. We can give you free weekly tips. Just send us your email address. We'll give you a free weekly tip on all of this stuff. We can send you free resources, and there's free resources on our websites. And of course, there's also paid resources. There's paid audio clips, there's paid services, and we can help you with consultancy and support. And very importantly, actually, customer feedback. We specialise in helping people with customer feedback. It's not expensive. It's very, very reasonable. We just charge £6 per result. And that's extremely good value, and I'll tell you about how that benefits your business in a later video. So please do contact us. We'd be delighted to hear from you. Thanks very much for watching the video.